Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here once again for a car profile, and today we're throwing it back to 2015 with the Progen T20. Now this here, until recently, was my favorite car in the game. Until really started driving the Krieger. I really just love driving that car, and it's my favorite one now. But the T20, based off the McLaren P1, is, one of the, older supercars in the game. It was one of the first ones that they really put out in an update. Because at that point, in 2015, the only supercar they really added in was the Zentorno. So, mostly you just had the original cars, the Adder, Cheetah and Furnace, things like that. Zentorno was out, and then the Osiris came out a month before. But it was like the first, one of the first ones that came out and an update for a supercar, and one of the first more expensive cars in the game. At that point, we had only seen, again, the Osiris coming out, which is 1.9 million. That was the only, other expensive car that had been released. Everything else was $1 million or under. So this is the first $2 million car, I believe 2.2. Which now, if you play GTA, it just seems like, oh, that's a standard price for a car. But in 2015, I remember when that launched, I'm like, that is wild. But this car, again, based off the McLaren P1, which is one of my favorite supercars, up there with the Mercedes 1, or Project 1, or whatever it's called. Something like that. Those are my two favorite supercars, and in the game this doesn't use the electric engine or the hybrid engine that a McLaren P1 has. They weren't really doing all that wild stuff yet in GTA with that. I'm sure now maybe they would feature something more of that, but you never know. The Krieger doesn't use that, which does have a hybrid engine in the Mercedes Project 1. So the T20 here, we'll go look at the modifications. Again, there's not as much. You sort of change your front piece there. Your diffuser colors. A couple exhaust options. Hood. You can go with no vent, one vent, or double vent. What else do we have on this car? Roof. The little scoop to the roof. That's cool. Now we're going to look at colors. Skirts. You can have a little bit there. And there you go. Again, not much customization available for the T20. The older supercars, again, did not feature as much. This car also doesn't have a wing option, as the wing will deploy itself when it gets over a certain speed. Which is really cool. This is something that they mess more with now in GTA. And really started with this car. Was wings and stuff like that move themselves, like the Adder being based off the Bugatti Veyron should have a wing very similar to this, but in 2013 they weren't doing that with cars that they do now. Another cool thing about the wing is that it does move when the car brakes. Basically what that does, I don't even know if it affects in GTA, but on a real McLaren P1, that will create more drag in the back of the car, which creates, a way that the car slows down faster. So, when you do this, it helps the car slow. Which is beneficial to have on a supercar when you're going pretty fast. More ways to help slow you down is good. Because again, when you're making more drag, it does slow down your car. Again, I don't believe that does anything in GTA, but it's cool to see them added in. I don't know why I never did a car profile on this back in the day. For some reason, I was just not doing this car, which, you know, was my favorite car from 2015 to launch until, you know, early 2020, maybe late 2019, something like that. So it's been the last like 4 months, probably 3 or 4 months, that I really went and started liking the Krieger more than the T20. So it's weird that I never did a car profile on him, but I was like, what am I going to do for this episode? And I'm like, let's throw it back, 2015. Because all of our car profiles have been newer cars. Or, you know, newer since we ended the car profile series in 2017. So, you know, we did the Krieger, which came out recently. The Nightmare Bruiser Benefactor thing. The Arena War car that came out in 2018. The PR4, which is the newest car we've ever done on the car profile. We did that like 2 days after the car was available in the casino. But, you know, I figured, let's do something older here. Overall, T20 at this point, you're going to race. It's not that beneficial. Maybe if you're going to do like a wall ride stunt type race, it still could be viable. But even then, if you're going to do those races, typically they involve some sort of driving on the ground on a platform. But you might want to go faster and use the XA21 for that, I'd recommend. Purely to own this car is still very, very cool. You know, not, again, high on the speed charts anymore. Statistically, overall, it's not that good of a supercar like it used to be, but this car is still so much fun. It's the first time that I really drove it in a while, and I just, like, it brings back so much, like, memories of playing GTA and using it so often. Again, from 2015 up until I started playing GTA more recently, again in 2019, like, that whole span of playing GTA in there, whenever I played, I was typically using the T20 in races, driving around the map, whatever. And then, you know, I got back into playing it when the casino update came out, and I used it a little bit then, and once I got back really playing it when the casino heist came out, I went more to the Krieger, and, you know, PR4, things like that. That do around in sessions. Plus, racing is what I do lots of times in GTA. You know, we have a Race Plus series, and the Krieger's used in that a lot, and, you know, whatever sports car. So, racing-wise, I don't really ever use it, and driving around in sessions, it's either, you know, I want to get somewhere quick, so I'm really going to go with the Krieger, or the PR4, and then, you know, lots of times I'll be fighting people, so I always really pull out the more weaponized cars, the Nightmare Bruiser, you know, the JB 700W, Paragon Armored, you know, things like that. So this car doesn't really ever get used anymore, but it still is one of my favorites, and I just love driving it, love the design of it. And if you watch videos on the channel of me playing GTA for, well, basically any time, you will have seen this car in some sort of video. From the initial Race Plus episode, I believe this is the first car that I ever raced in that series. The first race in it was this car. To live streams, to just driving around in free mode, you would have seen this car. And, it's a really, really cool car, and if you just have money to spend on cars and you don't have a T20 for some reason, I definitely recommend getting it, because it's just, it is so much fun, and it does have that older car vibe. You know, it goes back to the beginning of GTA getting wild, but before it was at that point. You know, this is the first, or this is the last update that came out on the old generation of consoles, so. And I believe one of the first ones that came out on the new generation of consoles, so. Very, very cool car, very interesting time in GTA as well. Again, before there wasn't a million supercars, you had the T20, and we should race this again on a race post coming up in the future. I got a good plan to use it. So, that was our car profile for the T20. Again, you want to get something cool, something unique, something a little bit more older in GTA 5. You can get this car that's been out for almost 5 years now, which is wild to think. Yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, real quick before we wrap up, actually. This is like the only car that I have in my main garage, or any of my garages really, that I've kept for a long time. Every other car in my garage here is either new or been repurchased. You know, I got a Tyrus in one of my garages that I rebought, RE7B, like a bunch of cars I repurchased, but this is the only car in this garage that's really old or I've only bought like one time. Like, some of these cars maybe aren't the best example, they are newer, but in my other garage is definitely like, you know, if they're older, I've rebought them. This is the only one that I've really kept since 2015. I only bought it once, and it's still here. So I just want to point that out real quick. So that's the video. Again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.